Gigantic is heading into a stress test very soon. Fable Fortune gets fully funded. All that and more. I'm Zach Sharps, and this is Free to Play Weekly. First up in the news this week, those of you guys hacking and slashing your way through KOG Games' Elsword got an update this week. Featured in said update is a brand new heroic dungeon mode for players level 80 and above. Also, those of you playing the Empyrean Gunner Rose will be happy to see 2 new jobs introduced, further building out the character's depth. Been a while since I hopped into Elsword, glad to see it is still receiving updates, but do you guys play Elsword? Let me know in the comment section below. If you've been waiting for your chance to check out Motiga's upcoming free-to-play MOBA Gigantic, you'll likely be able to get your chance next weekend. Yep, you heard me right. The company that recently joined Perfect World announced that a stress test for the game will be conducted next week. The test will kick off on June 30th, and you can sign up for it on the official website or Perfect World's ARC page. If you end up being selected, which since it's a stress test, the odds are definitely in your favor, you'll be able to preload the client before this stress test kicks off. Personally, I'm really glad to see Gigantic progressing more and more towards launch, especially with the grim situation they had just a few months back. It seems like just last month there was a new massive content update for Blade & Soul almost every single week. Well, they are at it again, and this time NCSoft has released a brand new class into the very popular free-to-play MMO. Called the Soul Fighter, this class is available for the Gon, Jin, and the Yun races and combines the style of both the Force Master and the Kung Fu Master. With this combination, players will be able to deal a massive amount of damage in close and long-range situations. If the class looks interesting to you, it is now live within the game, and if you want a more detailed breakdown of the latest massive patch to be released in the game, be sure to check out the official website. As a fan of counterplay games and their free-to-play title Duelyst, I've been very glad to see their title be well received by many players. It's kinda odd looking back on the game's history though and its former pay-to-play past, then of course it transitioned to free-to-play during beta. With the outrage of this move by players who contributed to the game, Counterplay's Keith Lee mentioned in a recent interview that he thought many would start refunding their contributions to the game, especially since he did offer said refunds. However, only 3% of players took him up on the offer, and other players were ecstatic with how the game progressed over time. With this good response by his community and the growing amount of people playing Duelyst, Lee explained the growth of the title by stating the following: "In terms of free-to-play, our game is purely better because it's more generous," end quote. Well, with the 25% chance to get a legendary in each pack and a large amount of ways to earn in-game currency, I'd have to agree with the statement. That said, it's time for the question of the week. Last week on the show, I asked if you guys liked the idea of eliminating vertical leveling in MMOs. A user by the name of FG3000 stated the following: "I'm really shocked so many people are embracing MMOs that level balance you in zones. Did we forget how much everyone hated Oblivion? When, after being decked out in the best gear, regular bandits still could nearly kill you? After maxing my character, if I want to go back to low level zones, I want to be able to one-shot that boar because I've already paid my dues. If anything, it should be 100% optional because many games already allow you to level down and play with your friends. Why force it on all of us?" Thanks for your guys' responses, and as always, if you want your comment possibly featured in next week's show, make sure to leave a comment down below. This week's question is a bit of a poll. I've seen some mention that they want more answers shown during this segment, and I've also seen a comment recently stating that the question of the week should be removed. So, because I like democracy, I want to get your feedback. Do you like the question of the week segment, or do you think we should fill the time slot with something else? Really interested to see where this discussion goes. Last up in the news this week, a few weeks back, we filled you in on MMOBomb.com about Fable Fortune, a brand new CCG being designed by the ex-Lionhead studio devs in the wake of Fable Legends being cancelled. Flaming Fowl Studios, which is their new name, has now canceled that Kickstarter, but it's for the best of reasons. In an update on the Fable Fortune Kickstarter page, Flaming Fowl states that the game has secured additional development funding, and that alongside our ongoing personal investment, the studio has successfully funded the title and doesn't require the Kickstarter funds to continue. That said, if the Kickstarter kept going, it was unlikely they'd have even reached their goal due to the fact with 10 days left, they've only received a quarter of said goal. However, most developers would have kept that Kickstarter going regardless, and it's really a breath of fresh air to see a developer only go for what they need instead of excessively bloating their development budget to no end. You know it is always excessive, how many times I remind you about giveaways, of course. Yes, be sure to head on over to mmobomb.com, check out that giveaways page and bookmark it to ensure you never miss one. As for myself, you can follow me on Twitter by visiting the link down below, but my name is Zach Sharp, signing out until next week's show. I'll catch you guys next time.